Have you ever lost a lead because you didn't follow up fast enough? Studies show that if you don't follow up within the first 5 minutes, your chances of closing that lead drop by 80%. But what if you had an AI voice agent that calls your leads instantly after they fill out a form without you having to lift a finger? For those of you who are new to the channel, my name is Mark. I run one of the fastest growing communities for AI voice entrepreneurs and enthusiasts. So if you're interested in learning how to build these AI voice agents for real clients and sell them, seriously join my community below. And I also run a full company building and selling AI voice agents for people around the world. In this video, I'm going to show you how to build an AI voice agent that does exactly this. It automatically calls leads after they submit a form. And the best part, it works for any industry, coaching agencies, marketing agencies. And in this specific video, I'm going to be demonstrating its power using a real estate agent. This is going to be an enterprise-ready solution, and I'm super excited for you and I to dive right into it. I'm going to fill out my information here. Mark. I want to sell a home. Hit submit. Okay, and now you can see I'm getting a call. Let's see what happens. Hello.
Hi Mark, this is Sarah from Homes Hobby. I saw you recently filled out a form about selling a home, and I wanted to follow up to see how I can help. How are you today?
I'm great. What do you want to know?
That's great to hear, Mark. Selling can be a big step. Are you looking to sell soon, or are you just exploring your options?
So I'm thinking about selling my home next month. We're moving out.
That's exciting, Mark. It sounds like you've got some big plans ahead. Have you thought about a price range for your home, or would you like some guidance on that?
Yeah, we're looking anywhere in the ballpark from 15 million to 20.
Got it, Mark. That's a great range to work with. I'd be happy to help you explore the best options to get your home ready for the market. Is there anything specific you'd like assistance with, like pricing strategies or finding potential buyers?
I do need some help finding buyers. Yeah.
Absolutely, Mark. I can definitely help with that. We have a network of potential buyers and marketing strategies to get your home in front of the right audience. I'll make a note of that, and we can work together to find the best fit. If you'd like, I can connect you with one of our specialists to get started. Does that sound good?
Yeah, we can do that. I've got to run right now, though, but thank you. I appreciate your help.
Of course, Mark. I appreciate your time. If you ever have any questions or need help down the road, feel free to reach out. Have a great day, and good luck with your move.
All right. As you can see here, this is what we're going to be building out. What we're going to be doing is simply connecting the agent to a Tally form. You could use a Google form. You could use any kind of form you like. In this case, I like Tally. It integrates directly into Make very easily. And then we're going to go from there into Make. Make's going to make an HTTP request over to Retell like we've done in previous videos. And it's going to go back. From there, what we'll do is process the lead data. So based on how the call goes, we'll send it back over to make.com. Okay. And then from there, it will be exported into Google Sheets. We're going to do the Tally form, make.com, Retell, and then export into the Sheets. So let's go ahead and start with building the Retell agent. In this case, we're going to be building an enterprise-ready real estate agent. That's the example I chose for this, but it really could be used for any use case. But I think real estate's a great one to choose. So we'll go ahead over here. And if you've never done this before, we're just going to create a new agent. I highly recommend, if you haven't watched my previous video on Retell AI basics, you can watch that, I think over there somewhere. Make sure you check that out. It'll help you understand all the settings in Retell. For now, I'm just going to dive in and build it out. In this case, I want the real estate agent to follow up with the person as soon as they fill out the form and ask them a few follow-up questions. I'm not trying to get them to be sold anything or sent anything. In this case, although you could, I just want it to gather some basic info, keep the lead engaged for potential future follow-ups. So we're just lead nurturing in some sense right now. Okay, so with that in mind, I'm going to go over to my GPT. And this GPT is one that you can find within my community. I highly recommend you use it because I've used it to build now over 100 voice agents, some of those for real clients, so it's pretty exciting. And it's been trained on a lot of data, so to speak. So let's say, create an AI voice agent for me. Outbound, that real estate agent. And I try to give my agents a little bit of personality, so I'll say named Sarah. In this case, I'll give the company name Homes Hobby. All right. And then from there, the goal is to follow up with the person after they have placed, after they have filled out the form. Okay. And the main two, I'm going to define the dynamic variables here. The two dynamic variables I want you to use, this is important for later, you'll understand why, are name and interest. Interest is whether they filled out buying a home or selling a home as an option. So that's the main two things. They're filling out, it's a very simple form in this case, their name, do they want to buy or sell a home. I mean, this, my GPT will write it out and make it a little bit prettier. Okay. And so here it goes. And now as that's cooking up, I'll go right over to Retell and begin configuring our agent. So standard here, I'm going to show a brief few settings that I'll use, staple for any agent. In this case, I want to be using a realistic voice, so you can choose from a few. I like Simo, that's definitely a good voice. There's another one, Chloe's good too. Dorothy, if you like British.
Hey, meet Emily, your reliable
But in this case, I want an agent. I'm going to see Jenny here.
Hello, I'm Jenny, your personal AI.
I like Jenny in this case simply because she has a little bit of an accent, and that tends to add a lot of realism to the voices. So that's something I'm going to be doing for this agent. And then I'm going to add a special feature here that maybe a lot of you don't know about. It's called high priority. Now, what this does is it reduces latency for your agent. I've seen dramatic reductions, especially during high call volume hours when retail servers perhaps are more occupied than normal. At least that's my theory. Then had I not turned this on. So if I turn this on, you just have more consistent, stable latency, as you can see here, and lower, more consistent latency. So it incurs about, let's see, I think it's, yeah. So it goes from 12 cents to 17 cents a minute when you add that. Then we'll just go into here. I'm going to leave functions as is. In this case, I'm not scheduling any appointments. Background noise, I like using the coffee shop. I find about 80 to 70, 0.70 is good. Interruption sensitivity. Now this is really important, especially when you're doing outbound calling, because it varies. Now, in some cases, when you're doing outbound calling, you don't want the interruption sensitivity to be so high that whenever the person says the slightest thing, it just stops. And so I like to keep it a little bit lower, but keep in mind interruption sensitivity is actually really sensitive. And then enable back channeling. So I always have this on. It's just a nice feature. Back channeling is when the person's talking. If you've watched my other videos, you know this. The agent will sound human and go, yes. So I always have that on. Enable speech normalization. I always have this off because it pays too much in latency. So it'll change the latency here if I have that on. It incurs about 100 milliseconds. I don't want that. Disable transcript. So this setting will incur an extra 300 to 500 milliseconds of latency. So I always turn this off. Voicemail detection. That's really important when you're doing outbound. You don't want the agent talking to a voicemail, obviously, because that's going to cost you money. So I tend to keep just like that. Sorry, hang up if reaching voicemail. So if it reaches voicemail, that's it. End call on silence for this. Keep this around here, 3 minutes. Max call duration. In this case, it's going to be short calls, so probably nothing more than 5 minutes, just to make sure our money isn't going to be spent unnecessarily. Pause before speaking. For outbound calling, sometimes waiting a second or two as the phone might be ringing. I always have a fallback voice ID. If you're doing this in the real world, you want to have an agent, a voice that it will fall back on. So here in this case, I'll use Anna in case this voice doesn't work for whatever reason. Okay. And then what I'll do here, this is the define beginning message. So I'm going to say, as soon as the agent picks up the phone, right, it's going to say, hey, is this name, right? Because you just filled out the form. So say, hey, is this name, right? Let's go back here. What do we have? All right. So I'll take this right here and we'll have to fix that a little bit, but I love using that GPT because it always gives me a scaffolding to work off of. So just add a few things. you don't want, one thing that's important, you don't want to use these curly brackets unless you're actually referring to a specific dynamic variable, or you're going to confuse the agent. So just get rid of these. Okay, so it goes hi, name, this is Sarah from Homes Hobby. I saw you recently fill out a form about buying or selling a home, and I wanted to follow up to see how I can help. Great. If they say buying, I'd love to learn more about what you're looking for. What kind of homes are you interested in? Okay, selling can be a big step. So we can play with the prompting a little bit, but this, and then I'll just add one thing I wrote down earlier, which is closing the call. So sound good. I appreciate your time. If you ever have any questions or need help down the road, feel free to reach out. So we'll add that in there. Sometimes what I like to do, some people don't like this, but I like to just say, I saw, or, right, like, just throw in a little realism. And we can test the LLM. So this is what I normally do. Instead of calling it, I'm just going to go right here and say, hey, is this name? So we can actually put in our dynamic variables. Okay, lead name. Sorry about that. I had a different dynamic variable. Let's fix that. That's why we always test. This should be name, not lead name. There we go. And now what I'll do is just go right here, put these dynamic variables in, and we're going to simulate the call. So instead of actually having to call it, we'll see buy. See how it goes, and then we can tweak it. So let's try it again. Hey, is this Mark? Yes. Yes. Okay. Hi, this is Sarah from Homes Hobby. I saw you recently. Okay. About buying a home. Great, it got it. Okay, it shouldn't say all those questions right away. That's a problem. Okay, so this is why we test our agents. How are you today? Give the caller chance to respond. We'll put that in there. And let's try it again. Hello. I wanted to follow up. How are you today? I'm good. There we go. Okay. Boom, it's doing it correctly. Let's go to Tally. This is a form builder. You can, again, like I said, you can make a form using Google Forms or another one. But in this case, I've already made this simple real estate lead form. But if you were to make a new form, and I can show it to you, copy link. That's what it looks like. Very simple. Yeah. Especially if you're interested in something more complex, Tally can do it from my tests. So if you go new form, what's cool is you can start from scratch, or you can build your own. You can add conditional logic. Like, it gets pretty detailed. And then there's these templates here that you can use. It's great. And what I do, once it's built out, what you need to do is put it on your website. How do you do that? Well, you need to go over here and embed it. So we'll go to share, and we're going to take, do you see where it says embedded forms? You want to choose different ones. So you could do standard, pop-up, full page. Normally you'll see a standard form in a website, and you just go here and you see where it says get the code. We're going to get that code. So you just take this HTML code. If you're not a programmer, it doesn't matter. Just copy it and put it directly. You can do this in Wix, Squarespace, any website builder. It's really, really simple. So that's nice to have. Once you've got that set up, you're going to have a form that looks something like this. So I went ahead and did that. Actually, I had ChatGPT make me a mock website to slap this lead generation form on. And so I put that right in here, and I actually have it here, and I'm going to hit go live. And now you can see it's popping up. So that's what it looks like. You have my name, sell a home, da-da-da. Now, the question is, how do we connect this over to Make? I'm glad you asked, because what we're going to do is go over here, type in Tally, and I'll preface this by saying you need to make sure the Google account you use to create your Tally account is the same that you use to set up your Make account. It's the easiest way to do it, because if you want to connect the two, they need to be on the same account. So go create a webhook, and we're going to go to Form ID. See, that Form ID is only populating because I created the account with my other Google account, right? So same accounts. Boom, save. And we're going to go here, hit save. Okay. And then we're just going to go to HTTP. So this is a really simple automation. It's not complex. You can make it a little bit more complex. We can add time delays. I'll show you how to do that as well. But just for the straight bare bones of it, we're really making a simple scenario. So we're just going to go make a request, and it's going to be a post. So I'll go here, And now this is what we're going to use to query Retell AI to call our agent. Okay, so that's simple enough, right? Sounds simple enough. So go over here. I'm going to take this from Retell. It's the URL, create a call. You're going to be able to download all this if you join my community, so you get access to this entire template. And then I'm going to do body type. I want raw in this case. And I'm also going to add a header. And that header is going to be our authorization. Okay, this is for API keys. Okay, so I need to get my API key from Retell AI. So if we go back here, I'm going to go close this, and I'll show you how to do this. I'm actually going to go and create a new one, so I'll show it to you. And Outbound, test, create. There we go, and I'm going to copy that, okay? Go back over here, integration, and then we have to type. So here's our key, but it's not complete just like that. You have to add this keyword bearer in front of it in order for it to work, okay? So that looks good. API stands for Application Programming Interface, and so what that means is we're connecting. It allows us to connect two different website softwares, if you will, and allow them to interact with each other, and that's what we're doing. So content type, we're going to do text. I'm sorry, JSON. What am I doing? And what I'm going to do here is take this information that I've already copied and made, and I'm going to paste it in. So there's an exact format that you use, and you can either copy it from Retell's, right here, Retell, their API reference, documentation. I think it's API reference. Yeah, so create a phone call. So in this case, you'd have to go in here, and you can create the code that you're looking for. So you could put in your API, from number to number, and just set it up, all this information, and it will give you the code that you can copy directly to make. Now, I've already done that, and I already have it in this format, so you can always use this format and just modify it to your specific needs. So I'll paste that right in here, and it looks something like this. So in this case, what we have is my agent ID, okay? I'm gonna have to update that because this is from another agent. Name, I'm gonna have to change this information. So I already made some of this, so you can see. And then from number. So we'll change that right there. Okay, so just to give you what it would look like for yourself. So right here, what I'm going to do, hit save for a second. I'm going to update this with my information, okay? So I'm going to explain really quick what this is. You have dynamic variables here, and they have to be formatted exactly as they appear in Retell. So for our dynamic variables in this case, we're going to go back to Retell. So you can see here that we have this full agent, but what we need to do is take these dynamic variables that we already made, remember, name and interest, and make sure they're formatted exactly the same in make.com, okay? So you can't have this capitalized, it's case sensitive, it will not work, okay? And that's the information we're gonna be sending over from the form in order for it to send. Okay, so let's just update a few things. First, agent ID. So go to Retell, grab this. If you've watched my outbounding video, you could skip ahead, but we'll take this right here. Agent ID, put that there. Okay, and then name, we're going to update that in a second. From number, make sure your from number is matching the number here that we're using. So we'll go to from number. You can see I have two numbers here. In this case, I'm using this number, and it's very important that you configure the outbound call agent to be the right outbound agent. So we have to change it to Home's Hobby, okay, in order for it to call. Otherwise, this will not work. And on top of that, I'm not going to go through this in this video because it's private, but you need to verify your own identity if you want to continue doing outbound calls as of March 7th. So I'm recording this March 6th. By the time you're watching this, you're probably going to have to do this verification process in order to do outbound. So it's really simple. I just uploaded my passport to Retell. I was done in just a second, so I could do outbound. Okay, this is a different account. That's the only reason I haven't done it on this one, but I will do that. Okay, so I'm going to take this information, make sure it's the exact same phone number. In this case, what I've done is I've already put in that phone number here. Okay, make sure using the plus, exactly as so. And then we're going to just populate this information once we've got it sent over from Tally. So the name, interest, and the to number, which will all be coming from tally. Okay. So everything should be set right here. And that's just about it. Hit save. And now we're going to run tally. This is exciting. So we'll go over here. I'm going to hit run once. And it's going to send the information over. So if I go back to my Visual Studio, and here's my form, right, that I was doing. So I'll say Tom, buy a home, in this case. And then I'm going to put in, and we'll hit submit, right? Now that it's submitted, you'll see, boom, it came through. Do you see that right there? We have this information. Okay. Now, if I go here, and I'm just going to update this information as so. So we have the name. We're going to put that right here. Tom, first name. Interest. And that'll be right under the selection. So interest type, buy a home. And then from number's already configured. To number. Make sure when you're doing this, obviously, that you don't mess around with these quotation marks. You don't want to accidentally delete one. That will cause a lot of problems for you. So, sorry, I'm a little sick. And then phone number. So that's the number we're calling to. All that information should be configured. Now, if I do it again, it should actually call and run properly. So I'm going to actually run it again because you're always testing when you're developing. All right, hit submit. Send over the information, and it looks like it's running, and it did. And as a matter of fact, I'm getting a phone call right now. So that's pretty cool. All right, it's working. Fantastic. So we wanted to make sure that it's working. Now, every single time somebody submits something to the form, it's going to call immediately. If we wanted to change that, we totally could. We could add a module here, and we could do time delay. So tool, we can make it so maybe it takes about 10 seconds. So you could do the number of seconds here. So 10 seconds, let's say. And boom, now you're waiting about 10 seconds when the person fills out the form. I don't like to do that. I like it instant, but that's up to your preference, right? Okay, so now that that's working, the only thing we have to do is go ahead and actually connect this to the back end. So after the call is done, we want it to be able to export the information, tell us how the call went, and put it into a Google Sheets. So that could be a Go high-level account, it could be any account, but we still need to set that up. So let's go here and hit save. Now that that's working, and then you would, put immediately as data arrives. Okay, so now it's always running every single time a form is submitted. Okay, and then we'll go over here, create a new scenario, and we're going to do webhook. Okay, and this is going to be a custom webhook. We're going to create add, test, outbound. Okay, copy this address. And now what's super cool is we'll go back over here to Retell. And we're going to put this directly into our agent. I'll show you where to put it, just like so. So that's where it's sending information to. And we need to redetermine the data structure. But before we do that, I'm going to go here, add my Google Sheets. So we'll go add. We'll just put, this is very simple. You could obviously modify this to be however you want. But I'll add this over here. Go to form, logs, right? Put this information in, sheet name. Okay. And then we have call outcome. So what we have to do now is get call analyzed. This is something a lot of people struggle with. It's okay. Totally understand. I've been there. But what you need to do, first, I'm going to do redetermine data structure. This is the way I always do it. And I'm going to call the agent real quick. I'm sorry. Stop this. Call the agent and then redetermine data structure, because what we're trying to capture is call analyzed. 3 calls are sent over. So you have call started, call ended, and call analyzed. Those are the 3 webhooks. And what we want is the call analyzed. That's key for us. So I'll hit end call. Okay. Sorry. Redetermine. Made a mistake. I'm going to talk to it just for a second, get it going. Go back over here. I got talking. I got distracted. And then we're going to hit end call. Boom. Successfully determined. Okay. And now it should actually, let's see if it has the information. Okay. So we have the structure, but then what we have to do is go delete old data. Yeah. We want to get rid of that data, dude. And save changes. And now we're going to run it continuously. So we're going to get test watch. Boom. Something went through. That's the call started webhook. When I hit end, 2 more webhooks are going to come in. And there we go. We have call ended and call analyzed. So now we have, boom, call analyze that came through. See, it was that easy, okay? I was live. Sometimes it can be a little complicated. Sometimes it doesn't work, but there, it worked first try. Sometimes you have to try it maybe 5 or 6 times, okay? But you'll get it to work, trust me. Last thing we need to do is filter out these repetitive webhooks, right? Because we don't want this clogging up our Google Forms every time a webhook comes through. So we want to go event equal to, and this is case sensitive, by the way. So we're going to put call analyze, all lowercase, okay? Hit save, and boom. Now this should work. It's running, and that information is coming through. The last thing we need to do is map our variables. So you can configure this Google form however you want, but what I'm going to do in this case is I'm going to change this. I want it to be call recording, just simple, and time, or date rather. Now you could configure this to be custom call analysis, custom information that's extracted. Right now, I'm just trying to give you an example of how you'd want to connect this agent to a form. And so in this case, what I'm simply going to do is, now that we've got the information sent over, I'm going to configure this so that we already have the call summary here. I'm going to configure that with the call summary like I did before. Call summary. I'm going to go to, oh, sorry about that. My sheet isn't updating. Okay. And let's see here. Call recording. So you go down here, recording URL, date, and you can configure this. Start timestamp right there. And now we've got that information coming through. Okay. So if I hit save, I'm going to hit immediately as data arrives. So that's always running. And we can go back to our scenarios. You can see that both the form and the final scenario are running at the same time, which is pretty cool. So you could, build off of this automation, but those two working in tandem should be all we need. So we'll do a final test right now together, and I'll show you exactly what we've got. But I think this should work. So if we go here and our efforts have been successful, we'll go to my website, go to this form. All right, I'm going to fill out my information here. Mark, I want to sell a home, hit submit. Okay, and now you can see I'm getting a call. Let's see what happens. Hello.
Hi, Mark. This is Sarah from Homes Hobby. I saw you recently filled out a form about selling a home, and I wanted to follow up to see how I can help. How are you today?
I'm great. Wow. Yeah, so I'm doing well. What do you want to know?
That's great to hear, Mark. Selling can be a big step. Are you looking to sell soon, or are you just exploring your options?
So I'm thinking about selling my home next month. We're moving out.
That's exciting, Mark. It sounds like you've got some big plans ahead. Have you thought about a price range for your home, or would you like some guidance on that?
Yeah, we're looking anywhere in the ballpark from 15 million to 20.
Got it, Mark. That's a great range to work with. I'd be happy to help you explore the best options to get your home ready for the market. Is there anything specific you'd like assistance with, like pricing strategies or finding potential buyers?
I do need some help finding buyers. Yeah.
Absolutely, Mark. I can definitely help with that. We have a network of potential buyers and marketing strategies to get your home in front of the right audience. I'll make a note of that, and we can work together to find the best fit. If you'd like, I can connect you with one of our specialists to get started. Does that sound good?
Yeah, we can do that. I've got to run right now, though, but thank you. I appreciate your help.
Of course, Mark. I appreciate your time. If you ever have any questions or need help down the road, feel free to reach out. Have a great day, and good luck with your move.
That was a really impressive call, I'm not going to lie. And that is how you build out a full AI voice agent that calls leads after they fill out a form. Hopefully you found this video extremely valuable, and I'm seriously excited about seeing you in my community below. Thank you so much for watching, and please like, subscribe, and have an incredible rest of your day.
Tectonic, where AI finds its voice. Come for the tech, stay for the transformation.